Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. Some of you may already know me from my other social media as Zill and my social media as Zillopolis. And today I want to tell you about how I started my planner and social media journey and why I decided to finally start a YouTube channel. You see, I always had to-do lists, and whenever I needed to plan for a period of time, I would draw that period of time on a piece of paper and I would write each day what I have to do. But as you can imagine, that was super messy and definitely could be much better. So a couple of years ago, my friends introduced me to bullet journaling. They had their own bullet journal and showed me, and I literally fell in love. Not only was it really beautiful, you can customize it to make it whatever you want, and I really love that about it. My first bullet journal already came with monthly pages and some sort of habit tracker because I knew I wanted that anyway, but when it comes to decoration, it was definitely something. You see, when I started this journey, I literally only had some pencils and markers from my childhood, so when I wanted to decorate my planner, it was just my drawings and doodles and markers all over the place. It was definitely far from cohesive and it was a huge mess. But over time I started getting more stationery, stickers, washi tape, and I found my style. I really enjoyed sharing my work with my family and friends, and I decided to start social media. I think my first one was Instagram and Pinterest, so I share just pictures of my work, still not really good, and honestly I really enjoyed Instagram planner community. And then they introduced Reels, and I thought why not start making videos as well. I would post it on TikTok and Instagram, and it will be perfect. My first videos were super simple, it was usually just me doing something with my planner, with some music in the background, but slowly I started getting more comfortable and I started speaking. I would talk about stationery, or structure, or habits, or goals, and it was really fun, I really enjoyed it. The only problem was those 90 seconds are far from enough. I definitely didn't want to make two separate videos for Instagram and TikTok, so I always tried to make my videos up to 90 seconds, and that was a huge struggle for me. The more I tried to limit myself, the harder it was, and I grew really frustrated with it. Not only that, but I don't think the comments you get on Instagram and Reels are often super helpful. Often they are not really community building. So I also started a blog, and that one had struggles of its own. I had a lot of technical issues, and honestly I don't really want to talk about it too much. It was a huge mess. I spent money on it, and honestly the worst part, because bullet journal is really visual, it was super hard for me to translate what I want to say to words instead of just showing you with a video. I think when you look at all of my reasons, it's really simple to conclude that I actually just have to start making YouTube videos. It's perfect. You can make it longer, it's super visual, and it's perfect if you want a community. But honestly, I was just a huge coward, because I knew if I wanted to start a YouTube, I would have to show my face, and I don't know what it was about showing my face, but I just couldn't do it. To be completely honest, that wasn't the only reason. Part of the reason was where I used to live, but when I moved, I said to myself, it's finally time. You cannot run from this. There is no reason to be such a coward. So here we are. Now, let's talk about the actual important stuff. What can you expect from me on this channel? Well, I can definitely talk about stationery 24/7. I could talk about it as much as you want, so definitely we will cover some stationery topics. Second, we will definitely still talk about planning and habits and goals, because I definitely think there are a lot of stuff to discuss there and interesting topics to cover. I really believe that time organization and space organization are really connected, and you have to do both. So I want to show you how I organize my space, not just when it comes to stationery, but anything else in my house, especially because I basically got a clean slate when I moved here. Lastly, and I want to approach this kind of carefully because I cannot promise anything here, but remember how I said about those friends who introduced me to bullet journaling? Well, we used to go over at each other's place and decorate our planners together, and we stopped because I moved, and I really missed that. So one of my ideas was to either have a live or some sort of longer video where I would decorate my planner and just talk to you about whatever we want, random things, everyday stuff. And you could just play that video in the background and it would be like we are decorating our planners together. Yeah, sure, you cannot share my stationery and I cannot share yours, but at least we can share time and cool stories, right? But that's just the idea, I'm not promising any of that. Because this is my first video and I've never done YouTube before, I would really appreciate if you would leave comments and any feedback you have, and if any of the topics I mentioned sound interesting to you, I think it would be a good idea to subscribe. Just an idea. And I really hope to see you in my next video. Bye. You can make it longer, it's super visual, and it's good to make it, and it's You have stuff to discuss there. And honestly, I really enjoyed the planner community on Instagram at least, but Pinterest was just meh. I'm really happy.